I mean, I wasn't throwing without, you know, a little help. So, interestingly enough, today the throws that kind of I struggled with the most were the short little dump downs. Uh, where I'm normally not even thinking about it. You just flick it, and there was something about those throws that I actually struggled with the most today. But
What's wrong with your line after a game? Like, have you ever been a part of a game like that? One?
yeah, oh yeah. Then you've been. I mean, we beat Cleveland a couple years ago when I was with the Jets in a similar situation. Nick Chubb ran in for a touchdown to go up by 2 scores. They missed the extra point. We went down and scored with under 2 minutes left, got the onside kick, went down and scored again. Now, when we scored, there was probably a little bit less time on the clock. They still did have a chance. They might have completed a ball to midfield or something like that, but they didn't have quite as much time. They probably didn't have any timeouts. We ended up winning the game. So very similar.
What's left of losing in?
Well, it's tough, I mean, but anytime you're on the losing end, it's tough. I think when you've played a lot of games, it's not the way you lose doesn't make it any worse necessarily. I think you learn that these games come down to the last minute, and you got to be ready for anything. And a win's a win, a loss is a loss.
When did you start feeling that hope in that game? Late in that quarter, or when did?
Obviously, when I think when you go down and then you think what you have is a touchdown, and no, it's incomplete, and then you throw an interception. And obviously at the time you thought they scored a touchdown. That was probably that at that point you probably weren't thinking too much about it. But then when we went down and scored for that, when you go down and you score and you make it a 1-score game, I mean, anything can happen. Onside kicks, not very likely, but who knows? I think we were down by 14 and we were going out there, and I said, hey, listen, crazier things have happened. Like a coach that was standing right there, I think it was a tight ends coach. And, but I think, after maybe there's a little bit of hope after you score that first one, but you're probably at that point. I mean, I think fans are going through the same thing, like as players are at that point. So whatever you were feeling and the fans were feeling, we were probably feeling the same thing.
Were you surprised you threw for 470? Were you surprised when you saw the number, or if you threw for 470?
I knew we had been climbing up there at some point because we got so many possessions, and we were really throwing the ball, a lot of the time towards the end of the game. Just the nature of the game. You don't know how high it is. I mean, I've never thrown for 400 in the NFL in my career, so it's the first time.
The way the last 3 games have gone, how do you keep the frustration
Yeah.
from seeping among the offensive players and the way the games have gone? How do you keep?
So what have we played 9 games now? We have 8 left. If you don't keep your head down and go to work, then it's going to be a long, miserable season for you. You can't get distracted, and you can't. Yeah, you're going to be emotional after a game, but at some point you got to let that go. This is our profession. We do this for a living, and we take pride in doing it. And I hope that you would continue to take pride in doing what you do for a living, no matter what the outcome is. And yeah, I mean, maybe that's easier said than done, but that's what you got to do, because this league will eat you up, and it will not be good. I'm sure Baltimore isn't sitting there, tucking their tail between their legs with the record they have. They're probably motivated and excited about the opportunity that they have going forward. I don't think we can look at it any different.
From our perspective, understanding that it's emotional after a loss like that, but it looks like some of the offensive players are gaining some tension towards the defense. I know you talked about it a little bit like that, but what do you do as a veteran?
Well, I just be the same person every day, and don't get frustrated from that. And I go to those guys just like you do, and you don't necessarily have to talk about that specifically, but you just have good conversations with guys about, doing good things and going to work and taking pride in what you do. And I think when you do those things, then you're not just then you don't have time to get mad at people that you shouldn't be getting mad at. We got enough to worry about. Every one of us has enough to worry about on our own plates, that you can't be worrying about everybody else, because then all of a sudden, once again, it's going to be a tough 8 weeks for us if we're worrying about what other people are doing. I know team is one. It's one team. In order to have that one team, you need to focus on yourself and do your job, And I get it. It can get emotional, but there's times to be emotional and show people that. But usually when those times are in good things and towards people you love. And I think if we're emotional, then we should come at it with an angle of this is my brother, as opposed to the opposite of that. I just think that's what good, hardworking, tough people do. They don't look at other people. They look inward, and it doesn't matter what the situation is. They look inward.
Why was the connection with T so successful today?
He's really good. I hate to be so simple and have such a bad answer, but I mean, did you see the catch he made on that go route for the first touchdown? I think it was the first touchdown. It was incredible. I mean, I was laughing. It was just stupid. It was crazy. And I think everybody kind of realized it. It was just, I mean, I had one-on-one with him. I don't really know if I should have thrown it up or just come down, but I'm like, it's one-on-one. I'll put one up there. and as I let it go, I honestly was kind of like, I don't know. And the next thing you know is a touchdown. So
yeah, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Being is right there, and then we don't find a way to get it done. And win a game, we just got to make one play, just one play. And some of these losses turn into wins. And so again, we just got to, as coaches, we got to spend this week finding a way to help everybody and get it done, because it's sick. It's sick to lose like that. It's sick. That's what happened. So we got to own it, and we got to keep finding ways to improve and keep finding ways to find a win. Just these last 2 weeks, it hasn't happened.
Zac, are you surprised, frustrated, angry, whatever, that these
Well, we got to find a way to get them fixed. We are. I mean, we're working like crazy. We're trying to do everything we can to get it done. And so again, it's not because of a lack of work, lack of effort, lack of trying to cover every single stone to get it done. But it is tough. This has just been the result that we're dealing with.
Is there anything you just feel the defense has been missing?
We just got to find a way to make a play, get off the field. I mean, it's no turnovers today, and this is a team that's, they're going to finish +2 in the turnover battle today. Chicago is, and that's where all their wins have come from. And so you lose the game by 5 points. They're +2 in the turnovers. They've been +3, but they've been +4. They've been +3. A lot of their wins, and so kind of more of the same for that.
Zac, it's a tough game.
+3 today, I guess is what they were probably.
Sorry, Zac. Tough game to play at the 9-yard line there. Were you thinking about possibly trying to force them into their final timeout?
We ran the ball. I mean, that's what we did on the first play. Ran the ball. So you get cute, and you force them to do that, and then you have no points, and then the game's over. So we just trust our guys to get out there and make a play, and that's just the way it goes.
Is it as simple as bringing Colston down after he makes that catch there, just someone tackling him?
Yeah, get him on the ground, force him into a tough field goal. At that point, once the play's been completed, make him execute. And again, we just didn't get him on the ground, score a touchdown, game over.
Have you been around and come back like that? 15 points, like I meant 42.
I mean, the Houston game a couple years ago, we were very similar. We were right there a couple years ago. So it's a tough one to stomach, but it's the result is the result. And so again, I feel sick right now, but all we can do is pick ourselves up and keep fighting. And that's the beauty of being in this profession and being in this locker room is we see what we're made of. We're going to keep fighting. We know there's going to be pretty loud noise out there. Criticism, it's deserved when we're the record we are and the results we've had. We're going to keep showing our character and keep fighting and find a way to lead these guys and find a way to make some plays and get some wins and keep this season alive. That's what we're going to do.
Can it be fixed on defense?
We're going to find a way. We're going to do everything we can to find a way. I think it's impossible for me to say yes or no. We've been trying everything we can. So we'll just keep working at it.
You scored 38 points last week, 42 this week. Most would say in the NFL that's more than enough points to win a game. How do you manage the locker room in not having the offensive players feel any sort of resentment?
Yeah, we fight like hell every single day to maintain the culture we have. Fight every single day. Talk to everybody I can possibly talk to, and we're fighting. And these guys, if you watch them practice, they are like hell, working like crazy in practice. And so again, we just got to get some momentum. Got to get a play. Someone builds off that play, and we find a way to get some momentum on defense, and just haven't found a way to do that lately.
Coming into the season, there's a lot of talk about the defense potentially being better. Through 9 games, why do you think that hasn't materialized?
You just got to find a way. You know, we're working hard at it, and I know that's a hard thing to listen to me say over and over. But that's the answer. There's not a magic formula that we would do it if we could, and so we're just gonna keep finding ways. We got the bye week. We got to keep working through it. See if there's something we're missing. See if there's something we can enhance. We'll work at it.
How frustrating is it that Joe Flacco plays through the injury, has the performance he does, and for that to go to waste essentially? How tough is that given when he's playing?
And there's a lot of great performances today. What Joe Flacco did for us this week, you'll never forget. And I mean, just knowing what our quarterback room is working through right now, what Joe Burrow's doing too, and Joe Flacco, and what all the things he's done, it's a really mentally tough room that leads by example. Joe Flacco got the opportunity to show that this week. That's him. Joe Burrow working like crazy behind the scenes to do everything he can to help our team. Flacco, I mean, he barely lift his arm this week, and he's willing to go put himself out there for a bunch of teammates that he's been with for 3 weeks. He's a football player. That's what he's out up here and said. He said, I play football for a living. That's what I do. And oftentimes you need that throughout the locker room. Guys that are just football players, and they remember that, and they'll go out there and do whatever it takes to help their team win a game, no matter what, no matter the circumstances. Got a bye week next week, get a chance to get rested up. That's how Joe Flacco looks at it. And so he went out there and put himself on the line. I'm sure he's going to be in a ton of pain tomorrow. And we'll give him 10 days off and see if he can come back and do it again.
The offense had a terrific game, but what happened on the intentional grounding there on third down? Kind of looked like a weird
miscommunication. Yeah, we were checking a play and didn't everybody get it?
Field goal. It was after that the decision was out of
yeah.
Was that a tough decision.
It's a tough decision. It's a tough decision. It's tough. Whether that was the right thing to do or not. I'll have to reflect on that. It's a split second decision because now you're in your head. You're thinking 4th and 3. Or less potentially, and so then you got to shift very fast to the decision to kick the field goal. And okay, now you're down 4 and hope to get another possession, get a stop, and go win the game. So it was tricky. That was a decision we made. Obviously, it didn't work out, and I'll have to digest if I made the right one there.
What is your message to the team heading into a bye?
Yeah, I'm going to keep fighting. The coach is going to keep fighting. I know these players have shown that they're going to keep fighting. It's frustrating for everybody to put in the work that's being put in, and this is the result we've had. It's frustrating, and sometimes you got to take a deep breath and then come back to work and try to uplift others. That's I face a lot of adversity here, and the only thing I know how to do is keep trying to lift people up. That doesn't mean we run from corrections. That doesn't mean we don't give criticism. But at the same time, the easy thing to do is question everything and point fingers and be negative and be an energy vampire in a lot of ways. And I think we got enough guys that just want to continue to lift people up and find answers, find solutions, help where they can, make myself better, make the person next to me better. And that's all I know how to do. That's how we built a coaching staff that does that too. We built a locker room full of leaders and great men that are following suit there, and that's what I've seen from them, and that's just what we're going to continue to do. And I don't have something I can say that's going to say, hey, we're just going to fix this and things are going to be better. It's not that simple. I wish it was, but I can promise you we're going to fight like hell to keep finding wins here and get the season turned around.
Are you surprised to see the tackling issues, especially when?
Yeah, we work like crazy at it. I mean, it's all we seem to talk about and work on, and we have to improve.
After losses, especially these last two, do you now going into the bye, are you looking at all personnel for trades, for switches in-house?
No, I keep working with the players we got. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep finding solutions with the guys we have, and if something else comes at us, so be it. But that's I'm going to work with the players we got in here, and we're going to keep finding solutions to what's going on right now.
It's been tough here at home, really going back to the start of last year. Does that add just a little more frustration to this whole thing, big picture, just how tough it's been to win here?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, our fans, they show up for us, and you got to give them something. You got to give them something. And, you did have the Pittsburgh game, and then you come back, and the last 2 weeks have been what they've been. So that is tough. It is tough losing at home. That's not what we want.